when I did first start to blow up, so to speak, as a business in October of last year, start getting more comments and responses and everything to one's posts, and I started to see a lot of just people making either veiled or nuanced or explicit anti-Semitic remarks. And I publicly said things in opposition to anti-Semitism in the past, like before my platform really blew up. But being that it was before my platform blew up, no one noticed, and no
Yeah,
one
gets
took the time
buried.
to, it gets buried. And these days, there's so much content; it would take eons to go through everything that I've posted.
Sure.
And so, just no one noticed. And so I was able to kind of fly under the radar of just not engaging with those people, because I knew inherently, I was like, if I give pushback, they're going to blow this up. It's going to be a whole thing. It's not a thing that I want. I don't want their flack. I don't want their pushback, and I think it's acceptable to just ignore them. And I don't
Mm,
think that that's inherently wrong in and of itself necessarily for a person to take that tack. But over
yeah.
time, as I continued to see it grow and see more and more and more of it, um, I just continue to feel more and more convicted about it. That I should speak up about this. And part of it is because I'm a very bold guy. I speak up a lot about a lot of controversial issues. I'm not afraid at all to upset the left on any and every issue. Like
Good.
I'm impervious. I'm impervious to their criticisms. It's like water on a duck's back. It's evidence that what I'm doing is right when I'm being criticized by the left, I would say.
Mm,
But what made, I think, this more difficult is, one, just the trouble that I knew it was going to cause, the kerfuffle, if you will. But two, just this sense that a lot of these people seem to overlap with me on other issues, right?
yeah.
There seemed to be a sense of sharing, so that the people that I was disagreeing with, it felt more like disagreeing to people who are near to you, which is socially and you could say emotionally more costly.
Yeah.
And so that's all that went into it. But what happened is I just reached a point about a month ago, where I said, hey, enough is enough. And I made a post along the lines of like, hey, just so you guys know, I don't hate Jews. And I think Hitler and the Nazis are bad and the Holocaust did happen, and yada yada yada, and like is
Yeah.
that I said, wrote a whole paragraph or several paragraphs about it, but that's sort of the gist of it. And a bunch of people
I
jumped
didn't.
on
I
it.
didn't even see that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I lost like 1,000 followers from that.
Yeah.
And but then and there were certainly people who noticed and remembered and like sort of kept up, but I think less people saw it. um and then I felt like, okay, I've sort of made my statement, I'm good. But you continue to see this stuff, and in the lead up to the Iranian conflict with Israel that's been happening over the last couple weeks, and the
Yeah.
American involvement in that, I started to see a ton of comments about like, we don't want to get involved in Israel's war. I'm not dying for Israel, or like the Jews are running our politics. And what I
Mm,
noticed consistently in the lead up to this, U.S. action and bombing the Iranian nuclear sites was that a large percentage of the people who were opposing it were also expressing opposition to Israel. I'm not going to die for Israel. This is a Jewish war. This is da da da. And and
yeah.
and and that it wasn't unique content. They had a backlog or a history of other anti-Israeli, anti-Jewish content. And
Mm,
so that clarified in my mind the degree of the problem and the degree to which it deserved pushback, um, both as the right thing to do to combat anti-Semitism, and as an
mhm.
American who loves my country and recognizes the threat posed by Iran. Like I had supporting multiple layers of interest to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going after this hardcore. And I
Mm,
started to go after it, and the backlash was so strong, it crystallized and clarified my resolve, to the extent that I not only wanted to address the issue, but I felt like I needed to repent of my past silence and passivity.